The common masks of narcissism. Narcissistic personality disorder is difficult to spot, even with the trained eye of experience. Once the pattern of toxic behaviors are picked up on, the patterns are quite easy to see on a continual basis. Most people who do express toxic narcissism or who are diagnosed with NPD do share the common basic traits that do lack empathy. However, it is quite common to encounter different narcissistic traits in many different people. To date, there are at least 10 or more different subtypes of narcissism. These subtypes are used to help differentiate between the different narcissistic traits that are expressed or not expressed in an individual. The three common subtypes of narcissism are vulnerable narcissism. This is also known as overt narcissism. These are individuals who are vulnerable to emotional attacks. They seem to care about their love partners, friends, and family. However, this is only an extension of how they are perceived. When the perception is not favorable, the narcissist tries to get and gain respect. They don't feel that they need to earn respect, but instead they demand it. They are extremely defensive when it is suggested that they need to change. They are prone to having affairs, and they do give into fits of jealousy and rage. This is because when they are not treated the way they expect to be treated, they then tend to express helplessness and victimization. This is how they get their supply. They vacillate between feelings of superiority and inferiority depending on their current situation. The grandiose narcissist is also known as the covert narcissist. They are less sensitive than the vulnerable narcissists. They tend to carry a little bit more confidence. They have a sense of superiority, and when they are not treated as how they expect to be treated, they go into a rage, and they do seek revenge. They abhor negative feedback as they do not take criticism well. They are perfect and flawless in their own minds and do everything they can to keep up that perception. When they become angry, they show no remorse or regret, so do not expect an apology. Any remorse is feigned, as this is a lure to try to gain their supply back. They are prone to infidelity, as they often walk out on a relationship with little to no warning, especially when they feel like their needs are not being met. They thrive on adoration and attention, as this, to them, is seen as an entitlement. The most extreme of the three subtypes of narcissism is malignant narcissism, and in malignancy you'll often find a combination of vulnerable and grandiose, or just an extreme form of grandiose narcissism. Malignant narcissism is a combination of antisocial behavior, aggression, sadism, and borderline personality disorder. This is considered the most extreme type of narcissism, as normally the expression of narcissism within these traits is also a diagnosis for psychopathy. Malignant narcissists are extremely manipulative. They do not care who they hurt as long as they get their own way, period. They see life in black and white terms, literally. This is called splitting or spinning, and it is seen in borderline personality disorder. There is no compromise in splitting, and you are either on their good side or their bad side. So arguing with a malignant narcissist is difficult because they seek to win at all costs, even if you have proof presented before them. They are empowered by an individual's pain, physical or emotional, and they do what it takes to avoid and prevent loss for themselves or any inconvenience, or failing to get what they want in any situation. They will avoid this. There are other subtypes of narcissism that fall under the category of the two main types of narcissism, vulnerable and grandiose. Here are some key subtypes of narcissistic behavior patterns to be aware of. The craving narcissist. These are needy, clingy, and demanding individuals, and these are expressions of vulnerable narcissism. The paranoid narcissist. Well, these are critical and suspicious individuals who are considered grandiose narcissists. The manipulative narcissists, well, these are people who are conscious and deliberate in their deception, and they are malignant and are considered both vulnerable and grandiose narcissists. And depending on the malignancy, they could be a malignant narcissist as well. The fragile narcissist, this is an individual who expresses grandiose tendencies under threat and expresses feelings of inadequacy and anxiety. They vacillate between superiority and inferiority. They are considered vulnerable narcissists. Please note that having a few narcissistic qualities does not make one a narcissist. One has to express a consistent pattern of behavior over a period of time, along with a lack of empathy combined with cluster behavioral patterns. Narcissism is a personality disorder that, as I mentioned before, is not easily diagnosed. It is a serious clinical disorder, and blaming and shaming someone for the narcissistic tendencies that they may or may not have is wrong. Diagnosing narcissism on observation of one or two red flags is wrong. The psychologists look for underlying issues such as physical and mental illnesses, along with other personality disorders, because narcissism shares certain qualities with other personality disorders that you and I are not aware of. This is why it is believed that if a person suffers from narcissism, they most likely are suffering from another undiagnosed or diagnosed illness or disorder. When two or more disorders overlap, the term is called comorbidity. Schizophrenia, psychopathy, bipolar, and borderline personality disorders are comorbid patterns that are confused within the term narcissism itself. The Narcissistic Personality Test is a questionnaire that allows you a bit of insight that enables you to accurately recognize the signs for yourself. The test measures your answers against a scale. Too high or low of scores reveal that narcissism might be a problem. Understanding the issues personally will enable you to work through your own personal character building and can help you find better coping skills along the way. So here's how this test is rated. On a scale from 1 to 5, how would you rate the following? I secretly believe I am better than most people. Obstacles rarely are an issue, as they don't slow me down. I am better at a lot of things than most people. I press through the challenges that come my way. I know that I deserve someone special in my life. It is hard for me to accept compliments. I am self-confident, but caring. I really don't like to talk about myself. I feel uncomfortable with attention on me. After you have completed these questions, look at the areas of conflict and try to address these specific areas with specific Bible teachings that can relate best to you. This will be helpful in healing yourself of unwanted negative behaviors. So this ends lecture 2 of this course. In this lecture, you have learned some helpful distinctions between 3 specific types of narcissism: vulnerable, grandiose, and malignant narcissism. These aspects into NPD will help you identify which subtype you have the most familiar with, as later on in this course, we will take a look at how to better manage your emotions in front of these types, as well as you will learn how to hold yourself to your integrity and better communicate to get what you want and need, and not be so easily manipulated by these subtypes. So thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon.